Alright, how you guys doing? I am going to start by, this is a 2007 Suzuki V-strom 650, and what I'm getting ready to do to it is I need to change the spark plugs and change the air filter. So we're going to disassemble the front. We're going to remove the seat first. We're going to take this bracket off, or this cover off here, and the cover that goes up here over the fuel tank, and remove these bolts here. So hopefully we can lift the tank up enough to get to the air cleaner and the spark plugs. Well, I'm probably going to see how it goes right now to see about getting in and doing the air filter first, and then we'll see if we have enough stuff removed then to go ahead and do the plugs. I might split this into two videos. I'm not sure. Kind of depends on how long it goes. But this is going to be the first part of disassembling what we have to take off to get to those two components. Alright, so I removed the seat. Next, what I'm going to do is remove the bolts here that hold this cover on and the side covers. So that's going to be what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bag that I have, or box, up on the tank as well. And I'm going to get those taken care of first. Okay, it's a 4mm Allen. The longer Allen screw goes in the bottom here. The shorter one goes in the top. So it's kind of for my reference as well. So I'm just going to set those down, and this should come off. This is the first time I'm doing this on this bike, so I'm learning as I go. So we're going to take the one off the other side as well. This cover off. Alright, next I'm going to take off this top cover up here. Looks like the same size Allens for these two screws. And that again is another short one. Take this one off on this side. Alright, the lower tabs up here have these little push pins that you can kind of push in on both sides, and that should release them. Release the one side. So we've got those push pins right here, and so just going to remove those, set those down. So now we should, let's see, it feels like something else is holding this fairing in. Let me take a quick look down here. Yeah, we have another one up front here. I believe that one has to come out as well. And actually I think this front one, this one here on the fairing, has to come off as well. That seems to be holding this one on, which I don't want to pull too much and take a chance. Actually, there is, the fairing is held on right there by this little tab that pushes in. So I'm gonna have to set the camera down and pop those out, and that might let us get this fairing out enough that the gas tank can slide up without having to remove all those other bolts off the front of the fairing. Alright, next what I did, using a 12mm, remove this bolt right here when the tank hold down, And this actually has a little prop for you for the tank. So let me make sure this comes up enough with this fairings off. And yes, that fairing on the front did just pop out a little bit. So let's see if it'll go up enough. I think that's how it's supposed to go. So you can prop that up enough to disconnect the yeah, we're gonna have to take this tank all the way off. I didn't think about it because of the air filter. So now that lifts it up enough where you can disconnect your fuel pump and any other wiring that you need to disconnect. As you can see here, we have, we'll come around on the other side. We have your fuel pump connector right here, and then we'll also have to disconnect the fuel tank at the top and the air vent hose on the other side. And I think that's all we have to disconnect there. And then I think there's another bolt up front right here that we'll have to take that out as well, and we should be able to get the tank off with just removing those items. So let's give that a shot. I'm gonna pause this for a minute and see what we can do. All right, I went ahead and popped those to the fuel line and the fuel pump off. Those came off really easy. The clips are really easy to get off. I have to hand it to Suzuki and Kawasaki both, because they're both very similar setups. They make it very easy to get the tank off. At least so far. Knock on wood, so far it's been very easy to take the tank off. So now that we've got those all disconnected, I'm going to drop the tank back down, and I'm going to remove these two parts here, and we're going to see about getting this front bolt out of here. So I got to find get the wrenches, see what size those are, and so we'll be right back. Okay, get the it's a 10 millimeter bolt and nut that you remove to get the that top collar off. Now let me take a quick look and make sure that everything's out of the way and ready for this tank to come off. I got more fuel in it than I wanted to have. Let's see if it comes right out of here. Alright, seems like something's still holding it. Maybe it's just the weight of the fuel. Alright, I'm going to have to turn the camera off a minute and move it to see if I can rustle this off from this side. Alright, it actually just took a little bit of wiggling around. Was able to muscle it out. I think what the problem was is the previous owner ran some auxiliary lights, and those were hooked around the tab where the tank kind of comes and sits down on these bushings here. There's two rubber bushings up here that the tank kind of comes down on. He had both the auxiliary lights wrapped around that, and it was hanging up, so I had to just kind of reach my hand in here and pop that wire off of those tabs, and then it came right out. So now we've got access to the air filter, so that's the next thing we're going to change. And also here's the rear spark plug. I thought this bike should have dual plugs, so the rear one's right there, and I'll have to get a light to shine in and find the other one up here. But this one, since it's an 07, has dual spark plugs, so it has 2 up front and 2 in the rear. So let's we'll work on that a little bit, but we're going to work on this air cleaner first, get the air filter out. I'm anxious to see how dirty that thing is, but we've got a bunch of Phillips screws that go all the way around the perimeter of it. So I'd asked the previous owner when the last time was he changed the air filter, and he couldn't tell me, so I'm sure it's been quite a while. So we're going to go ahead and get that out next. Alright, I'm trying a new GoPro mount out tonight, so hopefully I can move it around and get it in some better angles, but I'm hoping it doesn't shake too much, that it makes you seasick, because it is on one of these long extension arms that can move around. And I got probably get my head right in the way. I know there's one down here. The other side here. Yeah, just like I thought. Air cleaner is pretty dirty. All kind of stuff in there. I'm going to take this off very gently. But down inside the air box is very clean, which is great. So we're going to have one thing done. So alright, so we're going to be able to replace the air filter. And I know there's some people that complain a lot about having a lot of oil in the air cleaner assembly. This little breather has just a little bit of oil on it. I'm probably going to clean that out before putting it back in. Just make sure it's all clean. But I'm happy with how clean the air box is. This filter, if you can see, is definitely dirty, and time for changing. So we're going to put a new air filter in. Hopefully that'll help this thing run even better. It's not really running that bad. The worst part was the chain and sprocket were making so much noise on this thing going down the road. It was ridiculous. But so we got a new chain and sprocket on it now. We're going to get a new air cleaner in it. We're going to do the spark plugs next. So we're probably going to well, let's continue. We'll go ahead and put the new air cleaner in, and then we'll go from there. All right, got the new air cleaner in place. So we're going to go ahead and put the cover on and slide it back in here. I'm going to do one thing here first. to spray just a little bit of silicone spray. Around the edges of this air cleaner, just to help it slide in and hopefully keep the gasket where it needs to be. Let everything kind of slide into place, because the gasket on that just seemed a little bit thick. Then I'm going to tighten these in a cross pattern. Sorry if I'm in the way of the camera. I'm not going to tighten these down super tight. I want to just snug them all up, make sure that they're not squeezing too tight and kind of pressing the gasket out of the way. I don't want to do more damage to the gasket than you should. Or damage to the gasket at all, I should say. Okay, so now I'm just going to go around and snug all these up, make sure they're tight. I totally missed that top one. Alright, now I'm just going to go around one more time just to make sure I got them all. Go all the way around it. Alright, they're all tight. So that's your air cleaner. That's how you do your air cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I have some, like I said, to do the plugs and a couple other things. I'll have another video on how to do the plugs, and I'll probably have the removal of the tank in that video. And then thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe.